Hello and welcome to Missle Industries Ford Falcon 351 project episode 99.5. Now at the very end of last week's episode, some of you will have noticed that I made a bit of a mess of this front guard here. And for those of you that didn't notice, everything's fine, there's nothing to see here. So the reason I'm making this episode 99.5 is because I filmed a whole bunch of stuff last week. I drove to Al's, got the timing checked, didn't film any of it, did a few other things, couldn't make any sense of the timeline that I was planning to use, so I used what made the most sense and just left the rest on the cutting room floor, so to speak. But this episode I'll go over that, and for your information, the timing was set to 18 degrees when I left here. When I got to Al's shed, he checked it over, it was 18 degrees with 46 degrees of advance at 3000 RPM. Now we tried to take a little bit of advance off the table and we reset it to 15 degrees at idle, and the car didn't like it at all. It refused to idle even though I wound the idle speed back up a little bit. So we reset everything back to 18 degrees and 46 degrees. Not hearing anything pinking or going on, and I must add that is with the firmest distributor springs in it, so it's basically factory. So we're going to leave that be for the time being, because it's great to have a car that actually idles. And the second reason why this is episode 99.5 is because I don't want episode 100, which is effectively this episode, being me tidying up a whole bunch of extra loose ends. I do have something in the pipeline, but it's going to involve other people and their schedules, so I might have to wait before it actually comes to fruition. But we'll see how we go. On another note, damn, it's hot today. I should have waited till after sunset to do this. It's ridiculously hot in here. This is pretty subpar. So at the very least I'm going to put new negative earthing cables into my engine bay. I've done some back of the napkin measurements for my negative cables, and these ones from Suture Autos will probably do the trick. They're both rated for 750 amps. They are much more substantial than the ones that are on the car. I'm pretty confident this is going to take care of any of my potential earthing issues, because this blue cable is far beefier than the factory stuff. Look at the beefiness. Beef. Looking good. There we have it. Much beefier, much tidier. Don't look over there though. It's all good. Here I have another super cheap auto 750 amp cable. It's not as long as the existing one, but I've already test fitted it and put the shielding tube on the new line, so it's going to fit. There we go, beefy new cable in place. I just have to make it work at the other end. Well, this cable is definitely shorter. It's not so short that this isn't going to work. That is reasonably satisfactory in my opinion. I'll throw some zippy ties on that. And obviously a shorter cable is preferable to a longer cable, because it means less voltage drop. It is done. I've color coded them positive and negative, because these generic cables were just blue. So let's see how it goes for a startup. So I can make sure I've plugged everything back in. Let's see if startup's improved with all the new cabling. Let's see if it starts at all. And I've got nothing. Whatever this is, Must have something to do with the starter relay. Again. No smoke! Yeah, that'll do. Still no smoke. So much beefier. Okay, so with that out of the way, it's time to do something fun. Now, years ago, when I was 16, I used to frequent a Ford wrecking yard that was owned by a guy that was a spray painter and chassis builder, and he always had hot rod shells and this and that sitting outside his shop. And one hot rod shell one day had a Hurst shifter in it, and I looked inside it and I went, ooh, that's pretty. And I attempted to buy it off him, even though I had no idea what it was or what it was worth or what I could do with it. And he pointed that out to me. But nevertheless, I've always wanted a Hurst type gear shift knob in my car, some car. And this car here is probably the most appropriate car I've ever owned to put one of those in. But since I have a B&M Pro Ratchet shifter, I've decided to just get a B&M style grip shifter. Another reason why I went with the B&M shifter is this has the standard B&M shifter thread pattern on it, from what I understand. And obviously it has a whole lot of adapter threads as well and a whole bunch of nuts. Not really sure what they're for, but it's time to do a bit of experimenting to see what all this extra guff is. Hopefully this here is Loctite. Gonna need some of that. Figure out how this goes. Alright, let's get into it. Not cross thread it. That'd be silly. Obviously I'm going to want it to be kind of like that, rather than, yeah, that's not ideal, is it? It's upside down. Maybe one of these nuts can be used as a spacer to get this handle to face the right way. That makes sense. Okay, we're getting warmer. Go on, go down. Okay. Ta-da! I reckon that will probably do. That nut on the bottom acted nicely like a lock there to get that to sit exactly where I want it. Brum brum. Now all I need to do is throw this in the glove box so I can listen to it rolling around while I drive the car. Oh, I should probably peel this plastic off too. Something else that needed some love in this car is the door hinges. Now this one here might be sagging a little bit, but what I did notice was after I sprayed a little bit of inox on the hinges, the door got much freer and quieter. So I did all of the doors. What a transformation! I had no idea my hinges were so creaky until I put some lubricant on them, and now they smooth and quiet again. Damn it. Yay! Second attempt. Yay! Now to wrap this video up, I'm going to finish with some time lapse of me driving my car out to Greenbank with my family, which was something I did this time last year around Christmas time with the no power steering and the no sound insulation and the no MSD distributor. And I gotta say, yesterday's drive was faultless. The car ran like a charm, the steering was precise and predictable, and at 80 kilometers per hour, it felt like 80 kilometers per hour, not 160, from all the constant course correction and dead steering. So it was great. Really enjoyed the drive, even though it was 31 degrees. We had all the windows down, and we cruised out there and back without a hitch. Plenty of positive feedback from the people around us. The car appears to be a bit of a crowd pleaser, so very happy with that. Although it did rain on the way home, so all the way home from my brother-in-law's house, the car got rained on. I'm sitting in a car park waiting for my wife to pick up some chocolates because we're going to a gender reveal party, and this is a good excuse for me to test out my power steering and my MSD distributor. So far so good. Look at the broken Hilux. So, summary time for episode 99.5. I've beefed up the cabling for the engine bay to help the motor run better and the starter motor to start more readily. I have put a new B&M shifter knob on my Pro Ratchet shifter because I've always wanted one. I've sprayed the door hinges and the door locking mechanisms with inox, probably because they haven't had any love for years and years and years. And the drive out to my brother-in-law's and back for their gender reveal, they're having twins, was great, twin boys. So that was a great way to wrap up our weekend. And I hope you enjoy episode 99.5. And it's raining. First block drain of the season.